2020. Roll call members.
Jenneru,
Yes.
Leaders,
Yes.
Herder.
Yes.
Let the record show that all members are present except Pierce.
Okay. We've all had a chance to read the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes or make corrections?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same. Motion carried. And I'll read the opening statement. Public hearing will be conducted pursuant to the board rules of procedure as adopted May 26, 1988. We will first hear the report of the planning director on the detailed information and observations regarding the request, if not done in written form prior to the hearing. Next, we will take testimony of the applicant and his or her witnesses. Upon completion of the applicant's testimony, I'll call upon members of the audience wishing to make a statement concerning the request. Persons in favor of the request shall be heard first, followed by those who oppose it. At any time during the presentation of testimony, the members of the board may interrupt to ask questions or make comments on what has been said. Upon completion of all testimony, the applicant will be allowed to make a closing statement to the board. Upon completion of the applicant's closing statement, we will then hear the recommendation, if any, of the planning director, and upon completion of all discussion, I'll entertain the motion to close the public hearing on the request. After the public hearing has been closed, I'll entertain a motion for the members of the board regarding the disposition of the application. Each speaker addressing this board shall step forward to the podium, state their name and address before proceeding with the testimony or evidence. I would ask that you spell your last name. This board shall not be bound by strict rules of evidence, but does reserve the right to exclude evidence or testimony that it may deem to be irrelevant, immaterial, incompetent, or unduly repetitious. As chairman, I will rule on all questions relating to the admissibility of evidence, which may be overruled by the majority of the board. The board may grant continuances in case for good cause, so to any interested party who has entered his appearance. The board may, at any time, request a continuance of a hearing for the purpose of giving further notice, taking further evidence, gathering further information, touring the proposed site, or for other such reasons as the board may find sufficient. In such case, we shall state a specific reasons for the continuance and set a date, time, and place when the matter will be continued. All official actions of this board will be made at a public hearing by motion made, seconded, and polling of the membership. If conditions are imposed, such conditions shall be included in the motion or amended hereto. Our final decision will be prepared in writing and will be part of the public record of this board. Once this board has reached a decision on the case, that decision shall be final. Section 335.18 of the Code of Iowa states, any person or persons, jointly or severally, aggravated by any decision of the Board of Adjustment under the provisions of Chapter 335, or any taxpayer or any officer, department, board, or bureau of the county may present to the court of record a petition duly verified, setting forth that such decision was illegal in whole or in part, specifying the grounds of the illegality. Such petition shall be presented to the court within 30 days after the filing of the decision of the office of the board. Upon hearing that, I would ask for a motion to open the public hearing on case CU 2020-04.
I move that we open case CU 2020-404.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed the same. Motion carried. Public hearing is open. Pork Belly Ventures LLC.
We can't.
Okay, she's unmuted.
She's
Nope.
muted.
Nope, she's unmuted.
Unmuted.
Are you guys going to be asking us questions? We're on a bike ride in Missouri, and so we've just gotten on the computer to attend your meeting, and we're not sure how it works.
Okay. I guess if you would just want to kind of state, I guess, what you're planning on and your name. And
Sure. Okay. I am Tamara Pavich, and this is my brother Pete Phillips, and we've owned Pork Belly Ventures for 28 years. We started on RAGBRAI, the bike ride across Iowa, and we provide support services for cyclists, but we've never had our own ride. We've served a lot of other bike rides. And so this is, we've been talking to the folks out at Karsten's Farm about having that be our venue. And we would like to do a 3-day bicycle ride where folks would gather on the 17th of September and then ride bikes a different route each day, returning to Karsten's Farm after their bike ride, but on the 18th, 19th, and 20th. And so I don't know if the board members have had a chance to look at the application or the material that we submitted, but that's kind of the essence of it.
Okay, I guess I had a couple, just kind of general questions, I guess. It says that you guys are gonna have entertainment in the evening possibly. Do you know how late that might go, or what's kind of your plan there?
Yeah, no later than 4 in the morning.
Yes.
The kind of people that come do this thing with us are people that want to have, you know, a couple of beers and enjoy some entertainment and then go to bed at a reasonable time, normally 10 o'clock, and because they have to get up and ride their bike the next day. So this is not, you know, this is not something that's going to be, you know, it's Tammy sort of described what we do for other events. This would be the same. We're more like a neighborhood block party, not really like a frat party. So I think it would be a very, you know, would be a mild, you know, a group of people that want to have, you know, a good time, but by no stretch would it be considered a party.
Right.
You know? So.
Not a hard party. Like our clients are just a lot like we are. I always just say they could be my neighbors. I mean, these are folks in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Some of them are in their 70s and they're still pedaling, and they look forward to doing a bike ride in September, especially this year when so many bike rides have been canceled.
Okay, thank you.
I wonder, the expectation is to have several hundred people there. How many showers, do you have a shower facility there? How many showers will you have there for people?
Yeah, so I mean, and to be honest, we don't know. We're on an event right now that we planned down in Missouri on the Katy Trail. We have 50 people here for this event, which is, I mean, we're really glad to be doing, you know, any event this year. We would like to say we would get 300, 400, 500 people. The venue out there is very, I mean, it's an 80-acre farm. There is tremendous amount of camp space. We would have our own, we call them motel trailers. We have our motel trailers. We invite people to bring their own camper. They could tent camp with the idea of social distancing. The shower trailers that we have available as many as 86 shower heads in 5 different trailers. We would sort of scale it with the idea that we would have, normally there's a bank of 6 showers in each one of our bays, I guess you'd say. We would not have more than 2 people in there at a time, and we could have enough showers with those kind of numbers. I mean, normally with that quantity of showers, we could do on RAGBRAI, we could do 3,000 showers with that quantity of shower heads. On this event, obviously, we're going to have much less than that. But for us, it's easy for us, because we're only 5 miles away, we're in Minden, but, you know, we can bring all of our equipment up. We're not using any more water anymore. It's easy for us to set trailers, to place trailers, and to create because in our mind, really, it's an outdoor event. We feel like it's very safe. The only time that people are going to be indoor is in the showers. The showers are ventilated, but we would limit them. That's one of the things that we would really be careful in terms of, you know, the COVID situation, is to try to keep just limit the number of people in each bank of showers so that we could, you know, create as safe an environment as we can for the participants.
Hey, hello everyone, this is Matt Wyatt, and for the sake of the zoning board and some of the things that they have to consider on this conditional use permit, then would it be, from what you've stated so far, would it be fair for the zoning board of adjustment to say that you guys would not have any late night entertainment past 11 p.m. and that the event would be up to 500 individuals and no more than 500?
Again,
We have to have some sort of specificity to put down on paper for this.
I understand, yeah, I guess, we would be, if we could get 503 people or 529 people, I mean, this is a tough year for people like us. And I think if we didn't think we could do it safely out there, we wouldn't be doing it at all. We're on an event down here in Missouri and you know, we could have 150 people. You guys hold the cards. I mean, you're going to tell us, but I would not like to limit it 500. If we can get more than that, we would want to do more than that. We are, as a small business, we are trying to survive this year. And so, I mean, this is one of about, normally we do about 25 events in a year. This is going to be
It's our
maybe our fourth. And so, I mean, again, you guys call the shots, but I don't want to say 500. And
Matt,
again,
are you just asking for a number, or are you saying you'd like to?
Because no, it's not that we would like to, it's not that I would think that the board would like to cap you at 500. It's just we need some sort of specific number that we can put down to say this would be, at this maximum occupancy, then we would be looking at, you guys would need to come back so we could readjust, because we would be talking about, when we look at that, what that maximum number is going to be, that's going to be the maximum number we're looking at as far as making sure the porta pots are out there for that and those pieces. So that's where we kind of, and with the concerts, so like we take West Fair in consideration for this, what we do with them is they know that at 16,800 people, that's really their max event. And so leading up to that in the weeks, then they kind of go on ticket sales with us and they say, hey, listen, this is where we're at our ticket sales. And then as we get closer to the event, even though they gave us that 16,800 number, it might only be at 5,000 ticket sales. And we know at the gate, they're probably only going to sell 5,000. So then we look at their sanitation at being for just the 10,000 rather than the 16.
right.
So that's.
Well, we're accustomed on RAGBRAI to taking care of 1,400 people during the week of RAGBRAI. And I'd be very surprised if we were able to attract that number of cyclists in this environment. But I mean, I'd love to set up a situation where if we crest a certain number, you guys would allow us to call you and let you know, or if you can tell us the number that you feel is a maximum, if 1,400 would be a maximum, and we could reach back out to you if we get close to it, or if we could just adjust the number or correct it for it, let you know what we're actually getting, or if we come close to the max that the board had set before. But the late thing is,
We'll make a guess at 300 to 500, but to be honest, normally when we promote an event, we can make these kind of projections, but this year we just, we don't know. But we are going to send a survey out next week and ask people, before we actually go live with registration, and say, would you come do this? Just tell us if you would, if you're not, if you don't feel like that it's safe, and you guys know how the news goes. We don't really know, is the news going to get better in the next month? Is it going to get worse? We're just guessing, really. But
we do have a lot of interest. We're getting a lot of emails and phone calls from people. I just answered a few today. So, we're trying to stay optimistic about it.
Yeah. And the idea when we did it would not be, we're not looking at this as a one and done kind of a thing. We've talked about this for a long time, and now we have the time and so forth to be able to put it together. We're building a website now. And so this would be an annual event. Maybe twice a year. We even talked about maybe having a spring version and a fall version, not necessarily at Carson's Farm, but, events in the county or definitely in the area where we could pull, cycling.
Yeah, that's why I would kind of like if we could start off with some sort of number down on there, it would really help us out. It's because historically, events in our area do wind up becoming wildly popular, and it can quickly go from a 300 to 500 event to a couple thousand event, and then that.
Yeah, we wouldn't, I mean, we would, you know, again, like with the shower scenario, we would, I don't know, what we want to say, what we want to say, if we could cap it at 700. I mean, if we got 500 people, we're going to be thrilled. I mean, we're just going to be thrilled. It's going to be a game changer for us this year if we get 500 people. So, I mean, we'll, you know, if we want to say, you know, we can say 500, we can say 700. I don't know what it's going to end up being. And then we can just kind of continue. We can give you updates. We can give you weekly updates as to registrations. And if we need to revisit this question about what you feel is appropriate and safe, given the current climate, what the news cycles are, what the situation is in the county, we would sure understand, you know, that.
Having to stop taking applications at some point.
At some point, yeah, if you guys, I mean, given whatever the circumstances are at the time, but, and you know, I'm not a health expert, but on this kind of, if you, what we've heard from people is, you know, if you want to stay home, stay home. But if you're going to do something, being outside riding your bicycle in an open campground, I mean, it's about as, you know, you go to Menards and they say no more than 500 people in the store at a time. And we're like, you know, what we're doing down here is like 500 times safer than being in Menards, you know? So, I mean, everybody's got their opinions on this stuff, but
right. And you can take COVID out of the equation. The only reason why I'm asking you to give us some sort of number for the board to consider is on the sanitation issue. Strictly sanitation side.
Okay, so
how do we plan on that side?
Yeah, so one thing we haven't talked about is that we own we would have our shower trailers out there. We've talked to Moore's Porta Toilet service. They normally provide porta toilets for the Karsten Farms event out there. We would contract with them. I don't even know that we would need them based on our numbers, because we have a toilet trailer. It's got 6 flush toilets and 6 urinals that we would have out there that would be all, you know, near the shower trailers that people could use. We would then supplement that with porta toilets that would be kind of spread throughout the campground for riders. We've done a lot of events. I think RAGBRAI recommends 1 per 100. We normally go for more like one per 50 people. And you know, again, in this environment, we would, depending on the number of participants that we'd have, we would just scale it to have the number of people that we have, you know, based on what the need. And if you guys have some minimum required number of toilets, we will definitely agree to that, because I feel really confident that whatever you guys feel like is some minimum number, we're going to want to exceed that just for our clients happy. So,
Do you need to know about the gray water and black water? Did we talk about that?
No, it's just just a number for a calculation on porta pots and to give us an idea of traffic flows and things like that. That's the only reason why I was hoping to give the board some sort of a number we can work off of. And like I said, it can be revisited. We just need to,
Why don't we say 700? And we will say that there won't be any loud music after.
no, yeah, we're not. 10 o'clock's late for us. It would not. We would not have music after. I mean, it's going to be getting dark early. We normally do entertainment for like dinner time kind of stuff. So we're thinking like a band that would play for a 2-hour period of time, maybe 2.5-hour period of time, like 6 to 8, something like that. But nothing after
maybe
10.
9. So 10 o'clock would be super comfortable. We could schedule around that.
Yeah, nothing
easily.
after that for sure. So. And our idea is that, you know, each day people would get up and they would have a gravel loop option and they would have a road ride option. They could ride, you know, we're trying to keep the mileage under 40 miles for Thursday or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They would ride their bike. We would make the like if we went through Minden, we'd let the bowling alley know that they were coming, and we're going to try and make it fun where people can stop into the bowling alley, maybe bowl a frame and get like scavenger hunt kind of a deal where they get a card punched, and hopefully buy something at the venues that they stop at, just different fun stuff where, Pottawattamie Bend, stop there and get a selfie with the buffaloes in the background. I mean, just different fun stuff, make it a fun kind of an outdoor event where people could, basically ride their bike in the morning. They'd be back at Karsten's for the lunchtime. We've talked to Mendon Meat Market about being one of our caterers. So, and the Pancake Man doing breakfast for us and so forth. So, I mean, we would just have different vendors, food available on site. We use the kitchen facilities there at Carson's Farm. And then in the afternoon, we just thought we'd give people options. Maybe, we would make them aware of the golf courses in the area. They could go golf at Avoca or, I think there's one out at Harlan and another one in Neola. We could just say, we could just sort of give them things to do during the day. In addition to just sort of, hanging out in the area and enjoying, whatever food and stuff we have going on there. And then in the evenings we're talking about, one of the things that we like to do is have the RAGBRAI people come in and on one night visit with people about, our writers about the state of RAGBRAI, what's happening, what they have in the works. And, maybe a couple different speakers on a couple different nights, cycling related kinds of things, cycling events that may be of interest to them. So.
Do you have other questions for us?
I don't.
Matt, did we answer yours?
Yeah, I think you answered pretty much all my questions. Mine was mainly just the timing on the entertainment, and you answered that. And I think that's it for me.
I don't have any questions.
And again, we're when this thing's all said and done, I mean, we like long-term relationships, whether it be with Carson's Farm or our writers or you guys as a board in the county. I mean, we don't want to do things in a way where we're going to, we're just get along kind of people. If there's a way that, as long as we can kind of do business, then we want to play by the rules. We're not interested in creating an event where somebody, whether it be the county or the sheriff's department or whoever, where somebody's not going to be happy with us at the end of the day. The place is going to be cleaned up. It's, like Tammy said, we've been doing this for 28 years and we haven't got to where we are now by not playing nice. So that would be our intent,
We do have some references too in the area. We worked a lot with John Becker in Atlantic and others. We seem to have some overlap with Carson's Farm, people of mutual acquaintances and people that we've worked with, like the Moore's sanitation.
Moore's toilet guys,
that's called.
they've been with us on RAGBRAI for years, and so we just know those guys. So worked with them a lot before. So.
And the meat market, and the Pancake Man is located in Council Bluffs. I don't know if you guys are aware of his business, but he's a very popular RAGBRAI food vendor. So we're excited to be working with him on the breakfast.
I guess the board didn't have any more questions. Is there anybody to speak in a favor or opposed to this, Pam? Or
A board member, Tamara, can you help me out with the name of the gentleman? Hersey.
Oh, who's this?
Hersey from Carson's Farm.
Mel Hershey.
Oh, Mel.
Okay, Mel, thank you. He called today to ask if he needed to be here, and I said no, and he said that he and the board, Carson's Farm board, are totally for this and approved it, so he has no objections. And that's the only comment we had.
David, shoot, I'm drawing a blank on David's. Dave, it's the same as the apple orchard.
Ditmars.
Dave Ditmars, yeah, that's him. Yeah, they've shown us all over, and we've kind of shared some ideas about how we might be able, now that their farm days has been canceled, we're hoping maybe some of the quilt ladies or the homemade ice cream people, or some of them would be, willing to partner with us and be part of the event. I think people would love to see some of the demonstrations out there too.
okay, all right. Well, I think that's no other discussion. I guess I would Ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
I'm going to close the public hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. The public hearing is closed. We'd ask for the staff's recommendation.
Matt, do you want me to do it?
He's on mute. Matt, you're on mute. If he's still there. Maybe Matt's not still there.
Maybe not. Okay, so based on the information that we've been presented with, the planning department, our recommendation is to approve the application, subject to the following conditions. The applicants shall apply for the necessary permits to ensure compliance with environmental health regulations and state regulations. No on-road parking shall be permitted during this event. Any changes to the proposed events as approved shall be presented to the Board of Adjustment for review and approval prior to said change being made. No late night events past 10 p.m. and limit the number of participants to 700. And that's based on the following findings of fact. The subject property is located in the Class A2 zoning district, which is agricultural production. The county zoning ordinance, which is adopted in conjunction with the land use plan, stipulates that this proposed type of event is a permitted conditional use in the A2 zoning district. The proposed event is not the dominant use of the subject property. Conditions on sanitary facilities and parking address the potential land use concerns presented by this type of activity. The proposed event is not the dominant use of the subject property and is limited to a 3-day period. The aforementioned conditions shall minimize any potential adverse impacts on adjoining properties, and the proposed special events will comply with all other provisions of the county code.
I'll make a motion that we approve with the stipulations that you just presented.
I'll second.
Move and second. Roll call vote.
Herder,
Yes.
Leaders,
Yes.
General.
Yes. The application has been approved. Thank you.
Now they move on to the Board of Supervisors, correct?
No, this one doesn't.
Oh, this one doesn't, okay.
Okay, so Tamara and Peter, your application has been approved, so we'll be in touch with, in respect to your porta potty applications and that type of thing.
Great.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
On your ride.
All right, we're ready to move on. We'll
Ready.
come out. I would ask for a motion to open up the public hearing on case number CU-2020-05.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Public hearing is open. We have a representative for the Rework Services Group LLC, Tim Caulfield. If you'd want to go ahead.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. My project, my presentation is actually rather boring compared to the other two individuals. I think I'd like to join them at some point in time. My project basically is this. We are seeking to install on Mr. Bubel's, I think I'm pronouncing Bob's last name correctly, on his property on the south side of Truman Road, a shelter, a telecommunications equipment shelter for the enhancement of fiber optic transmission. That means that the signaling, the equipment inside the building will enhance, meaning it will speed up dramatically, and it will increase the capacity of data, meaning voice, video, so forth, to be transmitted from point A to point B, wherever that might be. The equipment shelter that we are seeking to set there, to install, is 10 feet wide by 20 feet long, and it's almost 10 feet high on the outside, the exterior of the building. It is an unmanned building. There's really no parking facilities per se. There's no toilet facilities, no running water. A technician will visit the location probably somewhere between every 4 to 6 weeks, barring no malfunction of the equipment. So that will be the technicians, he or she, their normal routine. Other than that, there won't be anybody around. It'll just be a building that sort of kind of sits there, kind of obscure, kind of ugly. It's kind of a pea gravel, taupey brown color, and there is no tower at this location. It is simply a building, a small building. We call it a shelter, and it sits on a concrete pad, and so that's kind of my little prepared spiel. And so, if any questions, please feel free to ask.
I've quite, on the map that was here, is there any structures besides that on that little parcel there, or is it kind of looks like there maybe like a bin or something there, or I'm just kind of curious of what those.
I think that there is should have been a little better than this. I think that there is I think there's something like a barn that's there at this particular location.
Okay.
As far as a home or anything of that nature, I don't think that there is.
Okay.
But I am pulling some stuff up to look at right now. It is mostly a lot of open space. This particular there is a small there's a small silo that appears to be 125 feet away from where we would set our shelter.
Okay.
Pam provided me with the setback requirements from the right-of-way as well as the adjoining property owner. On this particular section of Mr. Bubolt's property, right now, it's basically just green grass. This section is an uncultivated portion of his parcel of land.
Okay. My other question was.
Tim, this is Matt Wyatt. Do you foresee this expanding any rural broadband coverage in that area?
Let me answer that this way. The company that I represent, which is a company called Unity Leasing, they're out of Little Rock, Arkansas. They are typically a dark fiber provider. They really don't have any fiber optics in this area. Probably our first customer will be a company called Windstream. There may be some other cable TV companies or some other fiber optic providers in the area that they may invite to utilize the equipment that's inside the building to enhance and upgrade their transmission capacity and speed. But Unity is really sort of kind of strictly a commercial or wholesale provider. We would not embark on the enterprise of selling service to even to residents or even to businesses. Or I should say, I'm not an employee. Their take or their purpose for existing is basically to provide service on a wholesale basis to the telecommunications industry at large, meaning other fiber optic providers. But it would lead to, should lead to an enhancement of even the local transmission of data and video in the general vicinity. But that would be through the local telecom providers.
Excellent, thank you.
One other question, I assume there'd be like it doesn't make any noise or odor or something like that, or?
No.
Okay, no.
No, it is a noiseless structure. There are no frequencies. There are no waves, radio waves that come from the building. There is a small 30. I'm more of a real estate kind of guy and not an electrical kind of guy. But there's a small generator. I think it's a 30 kW generator. I think I've described that correctly. It sits on a concrete pad as well, and it runs for about 30 minutes once a month just to test it. But the facility, the equipment inside the facility just runs off of electricity, which we'll have our own meter, and we will acquire, our electrical service from the local power company. And the only time the generator would operate would be in case there's an outage in the area. But it would be tested about once a month for about 30 minutes, just to keep just to make sure that it runs when we need it, if in fact we ever need it.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
Not really. I guess I'm just curious why there really needs to be a variant. I mean, this is just because it's an A2, right? And this is just something,
Yeah,
I mean, it just seems like it's,
It's a conditional use.
yeah.
Yeah, transformer stations, booster
It doesn't seem like
stations.
anything that's too
Right.
harmful to anybody or anything, so.
Do we have anybody for or against Pam?
No comments on
Okay.
either side.
I guess if there's no other discussion, I guess I would ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
And someone,
Second.
Been moved in second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same. Motion carried. Public hearing is closed. I would ask for the staff's recommendation.
The recommendation of the planning department is to approve the application subject to the following conditions. The applicant shall apply for the necessary permits to ensure compliance with the Pottawattamie County, Iowa Building Code. The leased area shall be fenced and gated. And that is based on the following findings of fact. The subject property is located in the A2 district. The county zoning ordinance, which is adopted in conjunction with the land use plan, stipulates that the proposed land use is a permitted conditional use in the A2 district. The land use plan recognizes the need for adequate utilities to accommodate existing and future development. The subject property is suitable for the placement of a booster station and will not create a detrimental effect on adjacent properties. The subject property consists of 39 acres, and the placement of a booster station is not foreseen to have any negative impact on area properties. The only time the booster The proposed booster station will have any utilization of the Truman Avenue road system is primarily during its initial construction and for routine testing and maintenance every 4 to 6 weeks. Traffic to the station will be minimal after construction. The existing road system is adequate to accommodate said delivery of the booster station materials and no negative impact should be encountered. The proposed station will meet the criteria set forth by the zoning ordinance.
There's, I guess, no other discussion with the board. I guess I would ask for a motion on the hearing.
I would make a motion to approve based on the requirements we have made.
And I'll second.
Been moved in second. Roll call vote.
Leaders,
Yes.
Jenneru,
Yes.
Herder,
Yes.
The application has been approved.
Thank you.
Okay, Tim, so you can submit your application for the building permit then, when you're ready to.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you so much. I
thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay,
Is there any other business, I guess?
no business,
Business.
no applications for next month.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
Been moved in second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.